Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been ages since I made a video, but if you know me from Instagram, you probably knew that I had COVID, and post-COVID it was a lot of complications, and I still do have some issues, but overall I'm much better. Just that speaking for very long gets a little hard. And yeah, today I wanted to come here with a specific video, a very specific video. And today I want to talk about my first crore in business. And it's such a strange topic to talk about, because we are taught from our childhood not to talk so much about money. But it's been almost a year since I made my first crore in business, and I do think that I was not making this video for a long time because I was so scared that I wouldn't be able to sustain it, and everything is just like a one-time hit wonder. But things have been going pretty well ever since, and I do think that I want to share some of my takeaways. Now, the number itself is not really that important, but the process that I have followed for the last 4-5 years, not very consciously honestly, has been life-changing. And I hope that if you're watching this, it will help you in some ways in your personal, professional or career development. And yes, with that in mind, let's get started. And the very first thing I want to say is that first crore in business, or a crore in business, is not equal to 1 crore in personal income. It'll be amazing if it was, but it's not the same. However, the fact that I was able to build a few things that were able to generate this kind of money in a year, that itself I believe is pretty nice, interesting. I probably wouldn't have believed myself if I heard that I'm going to do something like this when I was 17 or 18. But when I was 21, I hit my first crore in business. And let me tell you my avenues, the income streams I have. So about 10% of my income came from my YouTube channel, brand sponsorships, and all the YouTube ads and all of that, affiliate income, and all of that shit. So basically it's just 10% of it, but still 10% of a crore is still significant. And yes, if I was more serious about YouTube, probably it would have accounted for 20 or 25% of it. But frankly, I wanted YouTube to be something I'm doing just because I'm passionate about it and not for the money. And whatever money it brings along is just a nice cherry on the cake. About 35-40% of this whole income was from my freelancing services. My freelancing services are something that I've been doing for almost 4 years now, and this is something that I am very passionate about. I teach people how to freelance, and freelancing is basically when you work for clients, Indian or global clients, for certain services, and they pay you in exchange of your services. So you don't have any startup cost, you just have to have a skill set, and you can even start with writing or marketing or designing posts for them or making a site for them. So it's pretty easy to get started. I got started almost 4-5 years ago, and I've been doing it for a while now. So it definitely generates a lot of income. At this point, I'm trying to change my or rather build my agency, so I'm not a solo freelancer anymore, but that is one of my primary income streams. And lastly, the rest of my income came from my info products. I have a few info products, the most important one being my academy, Freelance 101 Academy, where I teach students between 18 to 30 on an average how to get started as a freelancer. I launched the academy in 2021, and it's been 2 batches yet, and it's been amazing. And the fact that so many people started their own income journeys from the academy fills me with a lot of joy. But even apart from the academy, we have some other products like our master classes, which are like smaller classes, 2-3 hour long classes, also directed towards freelancing. So my info products accounted for almost 50% of my income. Again, the percentages are a little rough, but that is about the breakdown. And this is where I had my income, and this is how the crore happened. And the moment that it had happened, I really could not believe that I had done it. I thought it'll take another year. After that, I really didn't talk much about it. It's been a year. I've actually made much more than that, thankfully, by God's grace. But now that it's been a year, I feel more settled in that space to make this video. So yes, hopefully you enjoy this, and yeah, let's get started. First thing I want to talk about is how I got there at 21, which is a relatively younger age to make your first crore, I believe. And the secret to that is that I started very early. Like, there's nothing rocket science there. I started working when I was 17 years old. You can actually sort by old. You can see my YouTube channel has been up for a quite long time. So starting early did give me a lot of advantage. Now, I don't know your age, but no matter what it is, you'll be happier if you start today than if you were sitting and watching this video or a similar video 2-3 years later. So age does not really matter that much, but the faster you start, the faster you do get results. So do keep that in mind. So if there's a dream you want to pursue, if there's something you want to execute, now is literally the best time that you have. So if you have anything in your mind that you really want to grow big, this is your sign to go for it and execute on it maybe. The second thing that helped me a lot, and I think this is something that should be taught in schools, and this is basically self-evaluation and business evaluation. Now, of course, I learned about business evaluation with business coaching, with mentors and coaches, wherein basically every quarter or every month you evaluate how your business is going, which avenues are giving you good returns, which avenues are not giving you good returns, which parts need more work, and all of that. But we don't really do it for ourselves, which is why we tend to get into bad habits, we get unhealthy, we lose track of things we wanted to do. And what I really started doing was every quarter, I started sitting down and making a plan about what are the courses I want to do in the next quarter, what are the things I want to learn, and what are the things I want to prioritize for a certain quarter. Since I have multiple streams of income, it is really not possible to give equal attention to each and every stream of income every month for a whole year. So each and every quarter, there would be a certain focus. For example, in the second and fourth quarters, I focus completely on my info products, whereas in the first and third quarters, I focus on YouTube and my agency. This helps me a lot to get organized because I have multiple projects going on. I was like this even when I was in college, just that I wasn't able to have this distinct an organization because college would go on throughout the year. But this evaluation and this planning helped me so much, not in terms of business only, but even in terms of managing myself. The fact that I've been living alone for over a year without setting myself or my house on fire is mainly because I stay really organized, or as organized as I can. Practically speaking, my house right now is like a little bit of mess, of course, like any bachelor's house, I believe, bachelorettes. But overall, I have managed to lead a normal life without, having any huge accidents or mishaps just as yet. The third thing that helped me a lot, and I think this is something that will help you too, is called data obsession. And data obsession is basically whenever I'm venturing into a new market or starting a new project or working with a new client, being very obsessed with the data of that number. For example, when I started my own academy, I was very obsessed with the number of youth in India today so that I can understand how big a market I am targeting. I do the same when it comes to my clients. For example, I once had a client who was a coach for moms in the US who were suffering from a certain kind of a disease that is very common in moms right after pregnancy. And I really delved deep into what is the percentage of these women, what is the data about these women, what is the main pain points of these women, which helped me do really good campaigns for her that generated her revenue. So she, of course, was happy to pay me well. So this obsession with data has helped me a lot in many areas. But I'm pretty sure even if you are going to some other career, just knowing about data, what is the future of this industry and what percentage of people are in this industry right now, what is the demand or the percentage increase in this industry in the last 5 years, all of that data is going to help you a lot to make good decisions for yourself that will really impact how you live your life 5 or 10 years from now. The fourth thing that you need to understand is markets. Now, markets are basically big areas of a certain topic. For example, if I talk about wealth is a market. But under wealth, there are sub-markets like investing and sub-markets like wealth creation. Now, someone serving the wealth creation industry needs to have a widely different amount of knowledge from someone who is teaching investing. Okay, if someone is, let's say, in the health industry, someone can serve both the sub-market of women or men or even children, or maybe a certain kind of type of people, maybe diabetic people. So understanding markets and sub-markets and their motivations is going to help you so much in making sure that whatever you create is profitable, whatever you serve is actually in demand, because creating things today has become a piece of cake. There's ideas everywhere, but well executed ideas are the ideas that do make money. So you have to make sure that you target the markets that you're targeting well and you do your research, and that is going to move the needle for you very easily. The fifth thing that you can do for yourself today is personal branding. No matter whether you want a job or want to grow your own business or just want to make sure that you have more scope in the future, personal branding is the way to go. Now, personal branding is nothing but what people say about you when someone asks them, hey, how are you as a person? Now for me, maybe if someone asks you how is Helly, you'll probably talk about how she reads a lot of books, how she does freelancing, how she is, gorgeous. So that is my personal branding. I believe the gorgeous part is true as well. Please let me know in the comments. But personal branding is basically what people say about you. If we think about Sandeep Maheshwari, his personal branding is that of a motivational speaker, which is pretty amazing. Like, he's probably the highest paid motivational speaker there is. Or if I go to more of a professional side, we can talk about Grant Cardone. He is a very popular business figure, if you are aware of the business lingo. So these are people who have really made brands for themselves, and the brand can sell itself overnight, and this personal branding helps them make a lot of money and create a lot of influence and impact. Now, even small people or smaller influencers have their own personal branding, and even if you have just 100 people following you or 100 people who know about you, you still have a personal branding. Now, either you can let it happen the way it's going on, or you can be conscious about how you want to brand yourself, and that is going to change a lot of things for you in the near future. Imagine if I had never started reading, I had never started talking about books online, probably no one will know me as the reader or as a YouTuber. So, and that your branding has definitely helped me a lot in many areas. So definitely personal branding is something I would love for you to learn more about. I'll leave some resources for you to learn personal branding in the description below if you're interested. The sixth thing that I really want to talk about is randomness versus intent. I have been working for almost 4 years. However, the major chunk of my money I made was in the last year of business, like last financial year. Mainly because while I was working really hard for the first 3-4 years as well, it was very random. My energy was divided in so many areas. If you have watched my previous videos, you know that I've tried like 10-12 streams of income. So it's not like I was focused anywhere. I was just trying out a lot of random things, looking for what strikes gold for me. And the problem with that is that I did not have any intention. So nothing was going like super amazing. It was only when I focused my intent in 2019 towards marketing that things really started compounding over time. Because at the end of the day, people need marketing for themselves, no matter what they are doing, no matter what they are selling. I think marketing is such a core basic skill set that pays for itself, or learning it pays for itself. So definitely highly recommend being more intentional about the things you're doing or the things you're learning or the things you are aiming for, instead of just going with the flow because other people are doing certain things. And the last and the most painful part of the whole process has been that I did outgrow a lot of people that were really close to me growing up. I outgrew my friends, I outgrew my family, I outgrew my relationships, and while that was like so painful because it made me really lonely, it also opened so many beautiful doors for me. And I am happy that I actually ventured out of my comfort zone and learned new things, even it means that I lost a few things, because for me, I don't want to live a life in my comfort zone. I want to have new experiences each and every year. If it's not the same for you, probably you don't have to worry too much about it, but it does happen that when your mind gets stretched and you get to know about new things, if people around you are not growing with you, you will not want to spend a lot of time with them, and that will definitely create some rifts between you guys. And I have suffered that firsthand with so many people. It's been really painful a process, but nothing that I regret at all. It's just that there are some milestones and some things that if you want to achieve, you need to be more different, and if the people around you are not accepting of that, you'll have to let them go. So it's a very painful choice to make, but I mean, it was worth it. And I guess that those are all the best parts for me about growing my business to a certain revenue goal. Let's talk about some of the cons, because I don't want you to go from this video thinking of, this life is amazing and all of that. Every sort of phase of life comes with its own ups and downs. So I really want to talk about the downsides of my life at this point. And the first downside is that I have a super unhealthy attachment with my business. If something goes wrong at any point, I don't know what I'll do, because I cry so much whenever something is going not so well in business, which is very common, by the way. Business is not like always going up. Whenever something goes wrong in a campaign, be it for myself or my clients, I freak out like crazy, which I know I shouldn't logically, because we have time, we can make tweaks and all of that. but I have a very unhealthy attachment to my business. I do not have that kind of attachment with any person, which accounts for the reason why I formed that attachment with my business. Okay, it's almost like, you know, Moni from Monihara forming attachment with her jewels and, you know, kind of becoming a ghost after that. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna become a ghost if something goes wrong with my business. That is the level of attachment I have with my business, which I'm consciously working on changing, because yeah, it's not healthy to love your business more than yourself. So, but I do that currently, and it's okay. I just wanted to be very honest about it. I'm not perfect. I don't want you to think I'm perfect. The second part is loneliness. Like, oh God, it's terribly lonely sometimes, because A, I live alone, and B, not a lot of people around me or my friends really get what I do. So, and those who are like really good friends with me, but also they get what I do, they themselves are very busy businesses. So it's very lonely usually. And that is something that I'm not too bothered by most of the times. Only when I'm sick, I feel that loneliness like kind of stabbing at me. But overall, it's fine. No big deal about the loneliness. The third part is definitely the health effects. Because of business, I do stay stressed at least 1 week in a month, which means that I'm not able to sleep in that phase, which results in a lot of health effects, inclusive of but not limited to weight gain, and completely throwing off my hormonal balance in my body. And since I already have PCOD, it's not a pretty picture of me then. So that's something I'm again actively working on. And yeah, I believe those are the cons of growing a business to a certain level. I think anyone who is growing themselves in life, business, etc., will feel some of these things in some level in their body or in their life at some point. And I hope that this video helps you. I hope that this video has been like a chitty chatty video. And yeah, I hope that you found this video helpful, and I hope that you also like my new ear cuffs. I've been experimenting with styles. Let me know how it looks. And yes, I'll be back with another video next week, and till then, bye bye.